Hello, everybody, and welcome to the happiest hour on earth. This is the 25th episode. I cannot believe it. I feel like I've said that multiple times, but seriously, we started this just for fun in March, I believe, of 2021. And it's just been so great getting to know, our Instagram followers and our YouTube followers and just the podcast followers in general. And we are so thankful for all of you. And so today, it has been a few days. We're filming this on a Tuesday. It's been a few days since the 50th anniversary of Magic Kingdom and all their rollout of the celebration. So we wanted to take this time to just reflect on Magic Kingdom and just Disney World in general. And then also just talk about our opinions and what we've thought about the 50th celebration so far. So we are so excited that you're here. So let's get this show started.
Okay, so since we're talking about Magic Kingdom tonight, we wanted to bring some snacks from Magic Kingdom to this episode. For the drink, we have the Magical Beacon, which actually is a new drink. It's to celebrate the 50th anniversary.
Yeah.
And technically, actually, now that I think about it, this is from Epcot.
Yeah.
But it is a 50th celebration drink.
Yeah.
So
only beer and wine still in Magic Kingdom.
Yeah.
And I think you might be able to find this in other parks. But I do know our friends are there right now in Walt Disney World. They're
shout out to them because they've sent us so many photos and videos, and this was one of them.
Yeah.
And because they let us in on this special drink that's there just for the 50th, we decided we should make that for this episode.
Yeah, and so this is a gin-based drink. It has gin, lemonade, orgeat, I think, syrup, hibiscus, what else? Blue curacao, and some other good stuff in there. And so I know what's in it, but we didn't know the actual ratio. So this is going to be, I just kind of
estimates, just based on what generally is in other cocktails with these ingredients.
Yeah.
But I'm sure it's going to taste similar to this if you've
had it in the park. Yeah.
So we can give this a try, I guess.
Let's try
and then we'll talk about our little snack here.
Oh, the snack is so good. I'm so ready. All right, let's try.
Ooh.
Oh.
That's tasty.
That's really good. Is that the hibiscus I'm tasting? Or is that the almond syrup, like the orgeat?
Oh, it's like everything mixed
together.
Really good.
I'm
getting hints of like all those things.
Yeah. The lemonade, the gin. Yeah, oh man.
That's really good. That's a good drink.
That's really tasty. Oh wow.
Nice job.
Very flavorful.
Yeah.
I like that.
That's really good.
Huge fan.
Good job.
Thank you.
As for the snack,
I'm so ready.
We decided to make the mac and cheese fries with the pixie dust of food, the bacon bits on top. This is from Casey's Corner in the Magic Kingdom, right on Main Street. So we had this when we were there a couple years ago, and it's kind of been on my mind for a while that we should make it. And since we're discussing Magic Kingdom, I thought tonight was the perfect time to make this one. So
for sure, let's dig in.
Let's give it a try.
Let's go for it.
Really easy to make, by the way. It's literally just French fries, mac and cheese, and bacon.
Things you could get at a store, from either on the pan or the microwave, and you're set.
Yeah.
So cheers. Boom.
Like some of my favorite things right here.
I know, seriously.
All right, so now that we've devoured a lot of that snack,
it's crazy how good you can make a snack with like three ingredients.
Things. Yeah, well,
French fries.
Granted, we bought pre-made mac and cheese and French fries, so all we had to do was heat them and just add them all together. But shout out to Target because they had everything, all these things that we needed, and we just had to heat them and put them together.
And honestly, it tasted just as good. So if you don't want to put through the effort into it, literally just get some pre-made stuff.
There's like and it's mac and cheese that is like the Good and Gather like Target brand that I found there tonight when we bought it. Man, that was so good and like perfect for this. It was like super cheesy and gooey. Delicious.
Amazing. So good.
Give that one a shot. It's really easy. And delicious to make. So anyways, we're going to get started on this topic. So Magic Kingdom, 50 years.
Crazy.
We've only gone to visit once so far. This was 2018, so it's been a couple years, 3 years. And it was a very magical time. We are Disneyland people. I mean, I don't know what the majority of our listeners are, Disney World or Disneyland, but we're Disneyland people because we're from California. So we kind of, I wouldn't say that we were like snooty about it, but we were like, you know, Disneyland's the classic. Like, it's always going to be our favorite, which it will be. But I was kind of like, you know, what's the hype about, basically, when we went to Disney
How could
World.
it compare to Disney?
Yeah, exactly. So going into it, I was kind of like, whatever, like Disneyland's always going to be the best. But we got over there and I fell in love with it. Yeah. First of all, I'm like dying to go back. I don't know when our next trip back's going to be, but I can't wait. And it's so magical. Like, it's a different vibe than Disneyland. There's different aspects to it. They kind of, you know, the layout's a little different. Things are different, but
there's a lot more. There's so much they have to offer.
So much. And
it's you
crazy. Know, Disneyland is always special because, you know, it was Walt's first park. And that's why I've always loved it so much. That's why it's so special to me. But the more we kind of talked about it, I realized, like, Disney World, if he had lived beyond when he did, like, that was his passion. Creating Disney World was like where his passion was at the point when he passed. Yeah. And, you know, so sad that he didn't get to see it completed. But, you know, his brother Roy completed it for him and made it.
And died shortly after.
Yeah, and he died shortly after that. And he made it so perfect. And for that fact, like, I think it's a wonderful park, and I so badly wish that Walt could have seen it. Yeah. And I think he would be very proud of what his brother did. But
for sure,
I love it. Yeah. And, you know, it's got just as much magic to it as Disneyland, in my opinion, just different, you know, for different reasons, I think.
Yeah. And the one thing that's so exciting about Disney World is that, and I think Walt talked about this a lot, he was so proud that he was able to secure so much land in Florida. Like, he was like, we will never run out of space, like, hypothetically speaking. Like, they just have so much land, so much untouched land that they, you know, can further expand.
Even now.
And in Anaheim, which is super sad, is that, you know, they're really confined with space. And so, you know, we think about Magic Kingdom opening in 1971, you know, October 1st, 1971. And then you have, you know, a little over 10 years later, 1982, we got Epcot. It wasn't exactly Walt's vision that he originally envisioned it, right? He wanted Epcot, the experimental prototype community of tomorrow, to be literal people living in this, and to just be like very hyper technology driven and kind of a showcase to the world what we could do if we really put our minds together and focus on just furthering our technology and just society and all that stuff. So it was kind of a nod to that. You know, there's a lot of that future world stuff, and then there's also the World Showcase, but that opened in 1982. And then just a few years after that, 1989, we got Disney's Hollywood Studios, which was great. It has evolved so much since it opened, from this like backlot, this is kind of how movies were made kind of thing, to now, you know, a lot of focus on the movies. You have, you know, still Tower of Terror, which is, you know, one of the best ever.
So glad it's still there.
Yeah. Then you have Toy Story Land, you have Star Wars Land, and they just keep expanding over there, which is so fun. And then about, I guess 9 years after that, we have Disney's Animal Kingdom in 1998. So 1998, so we just celebrated 20 years a few years ago, which is crazy.
That is crazy.
And that was the most recent park that we had. And we were just talking about Animal Kingdom. It is so immersive, probably one of the most immersive parks.
Oh, yeah.
It really transports you to, Africa, Asia,
Pandora.
Dino Land, USA. That's good.
Yeah.
Dino Land. We were at like the Vegas and Dino Land, but all the other lands there are just insanely amazing.
So immersive. It's
And so
nuts. Like, I can't even believe the detail that Joe Rohde put into like every aspect of that land.
I know. Yeah. No, it's honestly so amazing. And every park is amazing in its own right. But if we think about it, that was maybe 30 years, right? 71 to 98. I don't feel like doing math right now, but like, I think less than 30 years, we had 4 parks open. And so we haven't had a park in a while, but thinking about the land that we haven't touched, Disney World can make another park and just surprise us. And it's just exciting thinking about all the possibilities of Disney World. And then now we're celebrating the 50th anniversary of the whole resort opening and Magic Kingdom Park for the 50th celebration. So crazy.
So
and
exciting.
So we look at the celebration, and a lot more was supposed to come out on October 1st to launch the 50th celebration. But because of COVID and because of, the labor shortages that there were during that time, they weren't able to, reveal and release everything that they had to offer right at that time. So the one exciting thing about that is the celebration will now last 18 months, which is crazy, over a year, because they have some exciting things coming out during the whole 50th celebration. But we wanted to talk tonight about the things that were out on October 1st, kind of our thoughts on them. And as much as we love Disney World, some of these thoughts might be a little bit,
Controversial?
Maybe, I don't even know controversial, because I feel like a lot of people have strong negative feelings about this. So we're going to dive in.
On the negative side of things.
A little more on the negative side. Yeah, but let's just dive in. Let's talk. The first thing that we're going to jump into is the 50th celebration fireworks, which is Enchantment, and it took over Happily Ever After. So this is the Magic Kingdom fireworks show that was highly anticipated, or maybe not anticipated, because a lot of people loved Happily Ever After.
Yeah.
But let's talk about it. What are your thoughts?
Well, if you follow us on Instagram, you probably saw a little snippet of what our immediate thoughts were last week when this all came out. Okay, comparing Happily Ever After to Enchantment makes me very disappointed with Enchantment, because I just feel like Happily Ever After was perfect. I mean,
it really was.
It was the most beautiful show. I think it combined the projection / firework combo so perfectly. The music was great. Everything I feel like was pretty spot on with that show. I mean, I'm so glad that we got to see it in person when we did a few years ago. And I've pretty much, we looked it up on YouTube beforehand, leading up to our trip. And we were so excited to see it. We did the dessert dining package.
Yeah.
That was so fun. And that was just such a good experience overall. And I loved Happily Ever After. So when we watched Enchantment last week, I was pretty let down with just, it was like a crappier version of Happily Ever After to me.
Yeah.
It was
I can
just,
see that.
it still had the projections and the fireworks and some Disney songs, but it was just
it was why would you replace Happily Ever After?
Exactly. It was not good.
Yeah, and I was talking, we were talking, and it's not a bad show, but because Happily Ever After it's such a tough act to follow. Happily Ever After was seriously perfect. But the one interesting thing about like, I think that they should have done this show a little bit different than Happily Ever After, because Enchantment is following a lot of the movies, just like Happily Ever After did. So of course you're going to draw comparisons. The thing that I loved about Disneyland's 50th fireworks, which was Remember Dreams Come True, and the 60th, which was Disneyland Forever, was that it was dedicated to the parks. Remember Dreams Come True had a lot of park references in it. Disneyland Forever had a lot of park references in it too. I believe, if memory serves me right now, we had some like Walt talking in it. Yeah. It was either that or World of Colors 60th anniversary one, but I think that would have been so cool for Magic Kingdoms if we had Walt talking about this new land that he was going to be building, and then having the fireworks and the show dedicated to the actual park. Because the thing is, it's 50th anniversary of Magic Kingdom, yet it was talking about the movies just like Happily Ever After did, and wasn't even using the real voices from the songs. So obviously when you compare Happily Ever After to Enchantment, you're going to go with the one that feels more special, and home in your heart is the one that had like the actual singers from the show.
Which makes me think, it just came to me, maybe the reason that they did that is like because the tagline of like the main song is like "You Are the Magic," so it's like different voices. I don't know. Maybe that had nothing to do with it.
That's actually a good point. But did it?
It still didn't hit home for me. It just didn't feel authentic and like quality. It didn't have that same quality that Happily Ever After did, and that there was like nothing about the actual park in it was so dumb to me. This celebration is literally for Magic Kingdom, and they just made a fireworks show about the movies, Pixar and Disney movies, and it's like, yeah, that's cool, but like has nothing to do with the celebration itself.
And honestly, that fact came to me later. Like, I was just expecting a Disney movie kind of show for some reason, but then after it hit me, oh my gosh, Disneyland's 50th and their 60th had park references in it, and wouldn't that be great? Wouldn't that be very memorable for the 50th of Walt Disney World?
To have some Walt in there, and just some of the history of things, and the nostalgia of the opening day or something. Like, it could have had so much more to it that actually made sense for it being the fireworks show they made for the anniversary.
Yeah, for sure.
It was weird to me. And I mean, I don't know. The projections on the castle weren't even like super clear. Like, I feel like we rewatched a lot of it back before filming tonight, and I feel like I couldn't even like see what was happening in the projections a lot of the time. Like, it's not very clear. And
I think they projected instead of the whole castle, they did like the top part of the castle sometimes, but it felt like a lot of the projections were like hiding behind the big 50 that they had. So it was like kind of hard to see, where like with Happily Ever After, the whole castle, like there was a main section that they wanted to show, but then on like the spires or something like that, they would also have like other characters from that movie. So you're like, oh, okay, that's this. But this one was hard to make out.
It really was. And it was a lot of like instrumental music, I noticed as well. Like in the beginning, they had a lot of songs with lyrics using other, singers and stuff. Yeah. But throughout the show, it becomes just like instrumental music, and a lot of it being very like slow and mellow, just like not a lot of energy going on.
Yeah.
The song choices weren't my favorite. There was just there was a lot that
it was interesting. And like going back to the projections, like if the projections weren't as great, that would be fine if the fireworks were great too. But I feel like there was a lot of times where the fireworks just didn't, maybe the timing of them and the type of fireworks that they didn't add to the energy. So a lot of times it felt very, lacking of that energy. But the other thing too that we were talking about is that there wasn't a lot of theme and direction to it, where I feel like Happily Ever After, there was a lot of different themes. So there's like, I don't, this might be out of order, but there's like one about like love, one about like friendship, one about like adversity, right, in your life, and then one about hope, and it ended on that. There's like different themes throughout, and this one just kind of seemed like
kind of just thrown together
random.
like a mishmash.
Mishmash,
Not a lot of overarching theme to it. I just feel like there wasn't as much put into this show as the ones in the past.
Yeah, it just didn't really feel like
the magic.
Yeah, I didn't feel like the magic was in me
or in the show.
Yeah,
I mean, okay, if any of you watching have seen it in person and have a different opinion based on being there versus watching it on YouTube, let us know.
Yeah.
But personally, not a fan. Like, I watched it and immediately was like, I would not wait all day to watch this. No way.
And one thing that we're thinking, like, okay, maybe it's because we're watching it on YouTube and not in person, but we watched Happily Ever After on YouTube before person, and we absolutely loved it.
Yeah,
like we
tears.
tears coming down the whole entire show. Where this one, I never felt really emotionally connected to it.
I kind of got bored, to be honest.
I kind of got bored.
Like, I like lost focus and was like thinking about other stuff a lot while we were watching it.
Yeah.
Happily Ever After, it like sucked me in. It was like a story. Yeah.
It was a story.
It was beautiful. So
now, we know some friends who are there right now, but they did not see Enchantment in person yet. They did, however, see Harmonious in person, and I think that is something that we should talk about next. So Harmonious, we did watch. I was about to say in person. We watched on YouTube the night before Enchantment, like I'm sure some of you guys did as well. Now, this was interesting because we did not see Illumination's Reflections of Earth in person.
We wanted to.
We wanted to, but that day we were just
we were worn out. It was really hot.
We drank around the world earlier that day, so we were worn out.
Yeah, we were just over it. I think we were all just tired and ready to go back to our hotel. But we did want to see Illuminations. I'm sad that we didn't, but
I did watch a little recap today, like watched most of it, so we can talk about it. But the one thing that Illuminations was really amazing, and one thing that I loved about it was they had that like Earth globe that had like video screen, like LEDs or whatever, on like the map of the world, and it like moved out to the center of the water and like kept spinning, and you'd see a whole bunch of stuff, and I was like, oh my gosh, like that like technology was a lot cooler than Harmonious was. I mean, there's a lot of cool things that Harmonious had, but the fact that there's like this spinning globe the entire time and there's like video projections on the globe was super, super cool. But Harmonious, I really enjoyed because it brought Disney and the world into it. It wasn't just focusing on different cultures. It was focusing on different cultures with the Disney magic. I mean, it was so amazing that, like, you know, we've heard these songs all of our life. Circle of Life, Reflection. What else did they bring? Hunchback of Notre Dame. They brought in so many. I mean, even Moana songs and a whole bunch of other ones.
Yeah.
You hear these songs growing up in English, and then when they just kind of shifted and did like the original language of those songs, it was so amazing and so beautiful to hear like all the different types of I don't know, every dialect is so different and so cool, and hearing it in a Disney song, and a lot of times they blended like the English with the other language, like, and they're harmonizing on top of each other. I was like, that is really cool, and it really brought about this like, we are just one people, like, you know, that we shouldn't have anything that divides us. We're just one people, all in it. And that was kind of the point of the show. I from my perspective, like
harmony.
Yeah, harmonious. Yeah, like we're all like, the music connects us, right? And so many other things connect us as well. And so we should look at their similarities. But even though they brought in those differences in the language and all that, it was just really cool seeing that show. And also, one thing that this had that Enchantment didn't have, I feel like there was a lot of energy in this. I mean, it was very high energy, action packed. They had a lot of great fireworks with it.
And the light show. Like for me, watching it reminded me a lot of World of Color here. Obviously it's different. It wasn't like it was projections just on the water, but kind of a similar type of show. And I thought it was really, really cool the way they did it. Yeah. And I didn't get to see illuminations, so I don't know like how they varied exactly, but I really thought that Harmonious was done well.
Yeah, and so I talked to my friend who's there right now. He had seen Illuminations and Harmonious. He said he liked Harmonious a little bit more, even though he loved Illuminations. And he said Harmonious he didn't like as much as World of Color. And I was thinking that too when I was watching it, like World of Color, and that might just be because we're Disneyland natives, right? We've been seeing World of Color for a very long time. And honestly, seeing projections on water is just like astounding. We don't have fireworks with World of Color, which is kind of that drawback that, you know, Harmonious definitely excels in.
But it's like,
but I mean, honestly, the projections in World of Color are amazing. The lights on the So World of Color, I think maybe that would change if I saw Harmonious in person, but World of Color still is like, I think, the prime water show, honestly. But Harmonious really, really enjoyed. So yeah, I love it. Another thing that did open for the 50th was Remy's Ratatouille Adventure, which is the new ride in the France Pavilion in Epcot.
Yeah, this is also in Paris, in Hollywood.
I always forget it. Is it Hollywood Studios or is it just like Studio? I don't know. I think it's Disney's Hollywood Studios. I always forget, but then I'm like, wait, why would they have Hollywood in there?
Anyways, whatever it's called. We didn't get to go into that park, unfortunately, when we were in Paris a few years ago.
Yeah, we just went to Disneyland.
We just went to Disneyland Paris, so we didn't get to ride Remy's Ratatouille Adventure there. Yeah. But I always thought that it sounded really fun, and we've seen videos of it on YouTube as well. And I'm so stoked that it's here now.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, the perfect fit.
So perfect.
Epcot, France Pavilion. That's amazing.
Necessary. I'm so glad they did that. We were talking the other day that they should make like a Gusteau's restaurant like close by in the France Pavilion. I think that would be so fun. And
they do have a few new restaurants. I think they have like a creperie and then like one other thing. And we had crepes in Disneyland Paris, and I'm just so glad that they're in Epcot now.
Me too. So obviously we haven't gotten to ride this yet officially, but our friends did because they're there right now, and they all absolutely loved it. Yeah, they raved about it.
Blast.
They were sending us pictures and videos like while they were going on it, and it sounds like it was a really fun ride. So whenever we get back there, I'm pretty stoked to ride it.
Yeah, and we've seen videos of it. Obviously, videos don't do it justice, right? Because it is a 3D ride. Or I think even online they say a 4D ride, because I think you do get the sense of smell in it too, which is great. But I love the whole projections mixed with the physical, props and everything. And so I am really, really excited to try it. But I'm so glad that they loved it. Plus, I think the France Pavilion needed a little updating. We went there for a short time, but it did seem kind of lacking. You know, there was a little bit to do there, but now that they kind of redid everything, I think that France Pavilion will be a little, you could hang out there a little bit longer.
Yeah. There's gonna be a lot of people. So with that, we're gonna move on into the things coming in the next year that will be for the 50th anniversary. Why don't you kick us off?
Yeah, so it's super exciting because a lot of, with the 50th going for 18 months, we're going to get a lot of new rides and a lot of new experiences during that time. And so I think the 3 that we're going to be talking about right now are all coming out in 2022. So really, months away instead of years away. So the first thing is the Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind. This is going to be in Epcot and Future World. And this is really exciting because I heard that it was the biggest budget project at Walt Disney World currently, which is pretty amazing. But this is going to be a roller coaster, but also kind of a dark ride. And what is really cool about this is you think, okay, indoor roller coaster, how are you going to see like show scenes? Because you're going to go by them really quickly. Well, in this ride, the system is going to intentionally pivot your car when there's a show scene. So let's say you're going past a show scene pretty fast. The cars are going to turn so that you're focusing on that show scene, and then it will turn back around. So they have kind of a mind of its own, but it's all programmed, which is going to be great because you're going to be having this high thrill, crazy ride, but with a lot of story in it as well. So I'm super, super excited about that.
Yeah, that sounds like it's going to be really fun. And I think it's going to be fun to see like a different take on the Guardians ride, because here it replaced Tower of Terror with Mission Breakout.
That's right.
So it's just the same, dropping kind of ride. So this is like a totally different take on Guardians. So it'll be interesting to see how they do that.
And even though we love, Towers so much, the reskin of Guardians is so much fun. So seeing like a ride dedicated to them and not just a reskin, I'm pumped for.
Yeah.
I'm ready. That's going to be so
really fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then we've also got Tron coming out next year. So this is already in Shanghai. It's a beautiful ride. We've watched them talk about it a lot on the Imagineering story. And definitely stoked that that's going to be coming to Tomorrowland in Magic Kingdom. I think that land in general is in need of a little
uplift.
Yeah, pick me up.
Oh yeah.
And I think that Tron is probably the perfect way to do that. I think it's gonna liven things up a lot.
Yeah.
It looks very futuristic, which is kind of what Tomorrowland is about. Yeah. So I think that's kind of the perfect thing to add there.
Yeah, I think it will really revitalize that land. I mean, like you said, it's supposed to, it is very futuristic looking.
Oh, yeah.
With that huge, like, light up canopy, especially at night.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's going to be absolutely incredible and will definitely bring a new life to Tomorrowland. And I'm hoping that it comes to Disneyland. Yeah. Not that we really have room, but
I know.
We're probably
trying to figure out where to expand is the problem.
Especially Disneyland, yeah.
Yeah, in Tomorrowland, there's really the only area to work with is the Innoventions / Autopia area. That's kind of the biggest spot to work with. So it would take getting rid of those, I think, if we were going to get Tron here. But who knows?
I know this is a touchy subject because Autopia is an opening day attraction, but I mean, who really, would you guys be willing to give up that for Tron? I think I would.
I think I would because it's never something that I really cared to wait in line for, I rode it once or twice in the past and it was kind of like, okay,
and honestly, if we had like a
Don't
7-year-old or like a 5-year-old kid, maybe we would have different opinions because it's so fun. Because I remember when I was that age, being able to drive a car before my license was really, really fun.
And I remember we went on it when we were first dating. I think that first trip that we went on, we went on it together. That was kind of felt like you were driving me around and we weren't really driving.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah, I didn't do a good job, but thank you for sticking through it.
But anyways, that would probably be okay with us if it was replaced.
Yeah, if it needs to be replaced. Yeah.
Same kind of thing. It's kind of just a big open space that there's always something different going on. And
it's always kind of random. They can move that kind of thing to another building.
Yeah.
And it would still be as cool. So I'm fine with that. Yeah.
So we'll see. Maybe one day. Who knows?
I'm done. So next up, the last thing that comes out in 2022, from what we know, is the Star Wars Galactic Cruiser. And this is an experience I would love to go on, but
if we were really rich.
If we were really rich, that's the only thing you would need to go on.
Big drawback.
Big drawback that it's what, like $6,000 for like 2 people. I don't know. It's like a lot. I don't know. Those aren't the correct numbers, but it's close. Also, yeah. So this is going to be a crazy immersive experience. It's going to be, they liken it to a cruise stay because you're going to want to stay in that, in that hotel for a majority of your day. You can go to the parks, obviously, but the price is going to be for 2 nights. And there's going to be, dining. There's going to be a lot of activities. There's going to be some crazy, crazy stuff there. But the one thing, and I'm a huge Star Wars fan, the one thing that I hope doesn't happen is when they started talking about Galaxy's Edge, they said, hey, we're going to be having like creatures, like alien creatures walking around and robots and all these different things. Like it's going to feel so immersive. Like you're going to see non-humans there. And that's what they're now saying for Star Wars Galactic Cruiser. And if you're paying that much and it doesn't have this as immersive, almost like LARPing experience with aliens surrounding you and all that stuff, honestly, that's kind of what I'm paying for, is to feel like I'm seeing not like it could fall flat. It could fall flat. And I feel bad saying that because I'm a huge Star Wars fan, but if you pay that much and then you look outside and you're like, oh, I'm in space and like I could do this and all that stuff. If everyone else is human around me, I'm not gonna care. Yeah. I want to see weird people right next to me. That's just what I like, honestly.
Yeah, no, I mean anything that's priced at that level better be like spot on, like you are in the movie itself.
Exactly.
Yeah. That is expensive.
Oh my gosh. No.
I mean, I don't know if I will ever be willing to pay that much for that experience. I'm sorry.
Yeah, tax return.
Yeah, we'll see. But if you're gonna pay that, like it better be perfect. Like you better be right there in the action of Star Wars.
Exactly. And Disney has, I feel bad saying this, Disney has lied to us. Not lied to us, but maybe stretched the truth a little bit with Galaxy's Edge. And I love Galaxy's Edge, but I don't see Banthas walking around. I don't see R2-D2 strolling. I don't see all these things.
Yeah, I mean,
if I'm paying for it, there better be.
There's
a Chewie, but like there's sometimes where you walk through and you definitely don't see
anything. Especially now, I've noticed. I mean, like COVID, like post COVID.
Yeah, makes sense.
I saw I don't think I saw anything
I didn't even see a stormtrooper, which is crazy.
I didn't see anything out there actually. So I think they've highly minimized, if not gotten rid of, the like creatures and things like being out and about. So
now, and that's the funny thing too, is now this is set to open. Okay. I love how confusing they have to be. It's set to open March, but accepting bookings October 2022. So I don't know if they're like, I don't know if it's opening for specific like high profile guests or like people to just test, and then the public can schedule it in October. I don't know. But the thing is, if COVID is still a big factor, then we aren't going to see actors dressed in alien gear right next to you. Yeah. So do you want to go right then? What do you want to do? Because if I go and I pay that much, I want to be immersed by weird people around me. Weird characters. That's all I'm saying.
Weird creatures, yeah.
But that is going to be an immersive experience. And if you haven't rode Rise of the Resistance in the Disney parks, they did do a very good job immersing you into that world.
Oh, yeah.
So I do know that the hotel is going to make you feel like you're actually in space and all this stuff. But I hope they deliver on all their promises. That's what I'm saying.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I agree. Where is that going to be located?
So since Disney World has so much land, it's going to be kind of off in its own thing. I do know it's going to be
where the resorts are.
So I have to look at it again, but I do know that you are going to be able to take a ship, quote unquote, to Batuu in a shuttle. So I don't think it's that far. So I think it's on the Hollywood studio side of things.
Oh, okay.
But you could from your space station, which I think is called the Halcyon Station or something like that. you could take a trip to a planet, and I don't know if it's going to be a shuttle that has like space around you, and then you enter into Galaxy's Edge. So my thinking is it's not too far from Hollywood Studios, but it will be off in its own thing. It is going to be an experience, but I hope that it delivers on everything. So
yeah. So with that pretty much concludes our topic of Magic Kingdom and all that is to come and all that has been. So thanks for following along with us. Let us know your thoughts on some of these topics that we discussed. Yeah, it's a magical place. I miss really Magic Kingdom. I can't wait to go back, and I'm just so amazed that it's been 50 years since it opened. It's so crazy.
And I think that goes to our point. Like, even though we have been honest about our opinions on some of the celebrations, the thing is, Disney World is absolutely amazing. You know, even if they didn't fully nail some of the celebrations, Disney World has so much more potential. It's already amazing, but Disney World is constantly getting new things. They have the potential to open a new park. They have everything. It's just perfect over there. Potential. So even though, yes, maybe we aren't the biggest fan of some things with Celebration, it's just the best.
It is. And I really can't wait to go back. I'm not sure if we'll make it back for any of this 18-month long celebration that's going on. I hope we can. We don't have a trip planned at the moment, but if we can, I'll be really stoked.
Yeah, that'll be great.
We love you, Magic Kingdom. Happy 50th anniversary.
50th. We love you, Magic Kingdom, and we love you guys. Thank you so much for listening. Make sure to like and subscribe, and we will talk to you guys next week.
We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye, guys.